Hey guys, this is Nocturne, and welcome back to some more Chronicles. Hi. Hi. So, I'm sure many of you have been wondering and asking yourself the same question that appeared in the title of this episode yourself many times. And that is pretty much my entire goal for this very episode, so I will warn you here at the beginning, this is probably going to end up being a bit more of a let's talk and less of a let's play. But hopefully you find the answers and everything I have, well, useful, let's say. So, where have I been? Why have I only uploaded like 4 videos in the last 2 months? Well, I'll say this. The last time I actually had a chance to sit down and record before today was right around... Hello, Twitter. I will check that later. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, last time I had a chance to record. If you actually go and check the video descriptions of the last 4 episodes I uploaded to this show, you'll see that I mentioned it was October-ish. Well, I actually went and checked, and turns out it was actually November the 6th was the last day I actually had a chance to do any recording. And the last 4 episodes I put up were the result of that day's little 2-hour set. So you might be asking yourself, well, October to... Well, today's January 28th, Nocturne. What the hell? Where have you been? Why no videos? I need videos. I'm sorry. As I tried to explain to those of you who follow me on Twitter, some very important real-life shit came up and demanded my full attention. And I wasn't going to explain anything over Twitter, so I figured I would save it for when I actually could find time once the real-life stuff had passed to sit here and explain it to you guys. And that is pretty much the goal of this episode, as well as a few other things. So, while I talk, I figured it would be kind of nice and nostalgic to walk about, show you guys the old world. So, let's start from the top. Basically, November 6th was a Sunday, as I recall quite clearly. I sat down, tried to actually record the rest of Season 1 all in one go, because I figured, hey, we finished those caves, and we're good. We can move on to Season 2, I can go rent that server, and the Season 2 crew and I can get started on an SMP series. And things were looking up, things seemed like that was going to happen, that was definitely going to happen. And then Monday came. And I've never really talked about my job before, what I do, or any of that. Ah, this is so nice. No, wrong one. No, that's a screenshot. As you guys can see, I am running the latest snapshot. I think Jeb just released that a few days ago. Yay, I can walk on my crops again. Anyway, I've never talked about my job or what I do. But basically, I am a software engineer, is my official title. I am a programmer by trade. Mostly Java these last few years, which at first I really did not like. I thought Java was a terrible language. I even thought Notch was an insane man for writing this game in Java. I mean, given all the lag we get. But after many years of using it and seeing that there are definitely some very useful libraries out there, I've come to appreciate the language a bit more. Anyway, that's not really the point. Monday came, and well, how do I explain this? My company, we tend to contract out some of our workers to other people, our customers, to do, sort of freelance software work. Well, I happen to be on one of those contracts. I still hate bedrock fog in this world. It's so wrong. So many torches, and you can't see more than 12 blocks in front of you. Anyway, I was working on one of those projects, and I really was hating it, to the point that I was considering quitting my job and finding a new one. But I just could not really bring myself to do so. I just kept trying to stick it out, hoping it would get better, and it never did. I think my dislike, my distaste for the job eventually started to show through. And actually, before I go any further, let me just double check that I am indeed recording all this. Oh, good. I didn't want to have to do this all over again. Anyway, I believe my distaste for the job started to show on my performance. And on that Monday, the customer decided that, you know what? Never mind, we don't need you anymore. Which was just kind of like a, oh shit. It was not a good thing, to say the least. The leader of the project was like the head programmer for the company that we were contracted to. He was a massive dick, and if you didn't do things his way, he pretty much came to hate you. But he was so nice about it, which made it all the worse. Anyway, once again, Metal Pig, thank you for this amazing cave base. It has been awesome. Anyway, we had been having problems back and forth for a while. I did not like him, he did not like me. Went back and forth like that for a while. It got to the point where he thought I was being lazy. He thought... Very, very noisy portal. He thought I was not learning things fast enough, that he and a couple other guys on the team with, let's see, I was at about 2 years of job experience at that point. He was at 20, and the other guy was about 8 years of experience. He didn't think I was learning things as quickly as they were, and so he got very frustrated with me and decided to throw this ultimatum in my face about, alright, I'm going to give you the next 3.5 weeks. You learn all this stuff or show really, really good progression on it, or you're gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Because literally, it was out of the blue. My manager at my company had called a meeting for all the people from our company that were working on that particular contract. And he just kind of wanted to talk to us because he was our manager, catch up with us, like, oh, hey, how's that paperwork coming, blah, 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 did you fill out your timesheets, etc. Boring crap. And after the lunch was over, he's like, oh, hey, by the way, Nocturne. He didn't actually call me Nocturne, but I was about 2 seconds away from saying my name, so... Anyway, he said, Nocturne, why don't you stick around for a bit? We've actually got something we want to talk to you about. Let's go... Just, let's go back, let's go to the customer site. We need to have a talk. And I'm like, okay, what's this about? I had no idea. We get to the customer site, the customer's building, really. And get in the door. There's old jackass project leader sitting there like he's ready to ambush me with a whole bunch of questions, which is exactly what he did. And in the course of about 45 minutes, I went from going, this is a strange meeting, to, what the fuck, where did this come from? Wow, those guys are noisy. Glad I'm wearing a headset today. I can actually turn the volume down more easily. So, anyway, the 3-week ultimatum he gave me, got to the end of the 3.5 weeks, exceeded his expectations. He seemed happy with me. He was going to recommend to his boss, the main contact for our company for the contract, that we let bygones be good, bygones be bygones, and just everyone go about with their business. And that was, I believe, on a Thursday. Then apparently, this is what I've been told, mind you. Wow. That mushroom farm came along pretty well. Too bad these will never grow this well ever again. Damn you for nerfing mushroom growth. Never again shall we have a mushroom again. Aww. Anyway, where was I? Alright, apparently somewhere on Thursday or Friday afternoon, one of the higher-ups from the customer went and talked to project leader asshole, and no, I'll just call him project leader. I sound too bitter when I call him an asshole, don't I? I'm not bitter. Anyway, he had talked to him and said that, hey, you know, when you're not here, Nocturne seems to act slightly different when you're not around. I find that a little weird. And to be quite honest, I'm pretty sure he only mentioned this to him as sort of an innocent, hey, maybe you want to kind of pass this along, so see what's up with that. I'm pretty sure it's innocent and... Really? Are people spawning up there? Whatever. Just kind of a, oh hey, go by the way, why don't you just go ahead and mention this to Nocturne? Let him know that I've noticed. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, blah blah blah. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think he meant any harm in the comment. I think it was just kind of an offhand, oh by the way, not a, oh by the way, maybe you should fire the guy. But given how much he liked me, well, he took it badly. And come Monday morning, actually it wasn't Monday morning, they let me work the entire day Monday. My manager from my company tried to send me an email when I say, oh hey, have you heard from Project Manager Man about anything today? I didn't respond to the email because I assumed he was talking about what had happened last week, that I beat his ultimatum and he was happy and everything was good to go. So I just kind of said whatever to that email, and I went about my job that day as usual. Writing some code, looking over some stuff, looking up stuff on Google when I needed to, etc. You know, a typical day. I'm surprised I'm finding my way around this world. I've not played for months. Anyway, Tuesday comes, and my manager actually calls me on the phone and says, hey, Nocturne, so did you hear anything? I'm like, yeah, he told me everything was great. He's like, oh, you mean he didn't tell you? I'm like, tell me what? So, he finds out Friday and makes this decision to let me go, but I don't find out until Tuesday afternoon that, oh, by the way, we're going to go ahead and make Thursday your last day here. So, I don't know. That just really kind of pissed me off. Just, ugh. Out of the blue, I'm thinking everything's fine, think everything's great, and then the rug is pulled out from underneath me. So, yeah. Ugh. Hunger, right? Not used to that in this world yet. Wow. That spread. Anyway, losing my position on that contract, not a terrible thing. My company had... Well, actually, losing my position on that contract doesn't sound like a terrible thing, right? I mean, come on, there's plenty of opportunities elsewhere. I'm sure there's another contract I could get on, except... The state of my company was a little funny, and without going into more details about it, let's just say there were no other contracts at my company that required my programming skills, which, to say the least, was completely unappealing. Because the only other positions available were basically on-site tech support for the company's software. What they deemed a services department is not what I had started with the company as. To them, a services person is someone who... Customer has bought our software, you go to the customer site, you install the software, you show them how to use the software, and then you get out after about a week tops. The usual contracts I had been on were custom software development, where the customer buys our software, says, hey, this is kind of cool, but I wish it did this. So we'd go in there, and we would write up whatever it is the customer wanted it to do. For example, oh, I don't know. I can't think of a good example, sorry. Needless to say, it was far more interesting than what the company envisioned me doing in the future. So, my fear was that losing my position on that contract was going to cause the company to go instantly, you know, we don't really need you anymore, and I was going to have to immediately start job hunting. So I start freaking out, going, oh shit, I'm about to get fired, I need to do something quick, fast, and in a hurry, or things are going to get bad here. I'm going to be out on the street or living with my parents again, and, you know, LPing is quite literally the least of my concerns right now. So, that's why you didn't get anything from me for the first week or so, because I was just kind of going through that. And I just was, like I said, not in the mood for LPing, not in the mood for editing, not in the mood for much of anything related to doing anything with my channel. I didn't respond to comments, I barely was on Twitter, and, well, I hope you guys can understand why. Anyway, for the entire month of November, I'm sending out resumes, I'm going to job interviews, I'm trying to find something good, and as you guys know, the state of the economy, especially here in America, is still not that great. We are recovering a bit, I guess, if you believe the Democrats. If you believe the Republicans, we're doing terribly and everything's a horrible pile of shit because a Democrat's in the White House, which is the usual rhetoric. Because if it was the other way around, the Democrats would say everything's a terrible pile of shit, too. Anyway, enough politics. Turns out my Java skills were in fairly high demand, as I was surprised to find, and by the end of November, I ended up with, I'd say, roughly 4 job offers. All fairly well paying. Everyone that I sent a resume to with a desired base pay, everyone met it, or in some cases exceeded it to my, not even to my wildest expectations. So, by December, things were looking up. I had gotten to an interview, I had an offer letter signed and in hand and faxed back to the company. Hey look, my pseudo slime farm. I love that sound of XP. I will say now, I have been doing a bit of multiplayer since probably mid-December, and you don't get that nice chime sound there. It's just the usual pop like that. Kind of boring. Plain, bland, planned. So yes, by December, had a signed offer letter, things were looking up, things were going great, and I don't know, it had been so long since I had done anything with the LP, and Christmas was coming up. I just decided, you know, I'm going to be going and visiting family for Christmas. I'm going to be there for about it ended up being about 2.5 weeks. And just with the jet lag on either end, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and take the rest of the year off. And we'll see how things go in 2012. I just realized I have been wandering around caves this entire episode so far. But that's not so bad. This is Cavers Chronicles after all. Revisiting all these old areas is not so bad. So yes, 2012 comes, and I start my new job. And as soon as I start my job, I'm like, alright, great. I think this weekend we're going to sit down and we're going to do some recording. One slight problem. Going 2.5 months without recording the whole... let's see. How many of you guys remember episode 97? The 1-hour episode I uploaded? No. Where I pretty much did another, I guess you could say, let's talk. Ting ting. Where I kind of went over the whole stage fright thing that I would get when recording, when sitting down to record, that, or even thinking about sitting down to record. Going 2.5 months without recording, that almost was to a, sadly to say, debilitating level that every time I sat down to record, it was easier for me to pretend like the microphone and fraps did not exist, and oh hey, let's go watch YouTube, or oh hey, I have to go empty the kitty litter, oh hey, the trash needs to be taken out, or... It just got to an infuriating level to, like, I enjoy this, why can't I sit down and do it? Anyway. As you guys can hear, as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, I finally sat down here at the end of January and overcame that... I don't know, I still kind of want to call it a childish fear. As... I'm just sitting here calmly talking to people who are choosing to listen to me. Not like I'm getting up on a stage or anything, talking to hundreds of people who could care less one way or the other, and it's your job to entertain them. Anyway. I guess I can go back a little bit to around Christmas time, as I did have all the footage from those last 4 episodes recorded. I actually went and got my little external 500 gig hard drive, loaded up the raw footage on that, took my 6-year-old laptop home with me and a copy of Vegas, just in case I needed to use my parents' computer, because that laptop can barely run Minecraft, much less Vegas, so yeah, I took all that home with me, except as soon as I got home and sat down to do some editing, I realized, oh, crap. I didn't bring my Audacity recording, which is what I used to record my voice, by the way, so I had all the game footage, I just didn't have me. Alright, I've wandered in circles enough, let's go ahead and get out of here. Ting! Love that. So yeah, my intention had been to go ahead and get you guys all 4 of those episodes over the span between Christmas and New Year's, just as kind of like my Christmas present to you guys, because I don't know if it would have happened again, but when I released those 2 episodes over the Christmas time in 2010, geez, they're just all over the place. I know you guys spawn more, but this is ridiculous. Wait, I want to go this way. There we go, that's why I went in the loop. Anyway, after I got back from visiting family, I sat down and I actually started editing the very next day. I didn't do anything the day I got home. I was far too tired from being on a plane all day, which is very weird. You sit around all day and yet you're tired when you get home. I don't get it. Maybe your metabolism just slows down because you're not doing anything. Regardless, sat down, edited the first 2 episodes, and released those as you guys saw. And I was going to keep editing, but I just kind of, I don't know, didn't feel like it for some reason. Probably something in the back of my head going, you know, the sooner you finish editing this, the sooner you have to get back to recording. No, I can't record, that's scary. Like I said, it's childish. Also, something in the back of my mind had me remembering that the way I ended those, I don't know, just something about the way I was in those episodes felt like, I don't know, I felt disconnected and fake and very down about everything. Every time I thought the cave was going to go on and it didn't, and I was like, aww. And then I felt like I had to cheer myself up, act happy for the camera, and it felt so fake, and I don't know, I didn't like it. And just even remembering that little piece made me not want to continue. It was just, I don't know, the memory of it all was like, ugh, it's going to be crap, I don't want to do it, I am so tempted to throw this footage out. And so that went on for about a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, I want to say, I don't know. Then one day, I get home from work and I'm like, you know what, screw it. Let's edit this stuff up, let's see how it goes. Ah yes, the former feather factory, now a zombie flesh factory, seems to be working just fine. Hopefully those guys aren't too loud for you. They're pretty loud for me in my ears right now with the headset. So yes, sat down, finally edited, and turns out it was not anywhere near as bad as I was thinking, which is not the first time that's happened with footage I've recorded. Once I sit down and rewatch, and I'm like, oh, that was actually pretty good. I hope you guys agree. Which, I guess now that we're, about half hour in? I did release episode 128, probably about a week ago by the time you guys see this, so if you haven't seen it, do go back and watch it. YouTube's sub box is being retarded again, as I noticed that, I released it, well, like I said, probably about a week ago, but it's been probably about 5 days since I released it for me today. And there's only been about 60 or 70 views on it, which is telling me that most of you somehow have not seen it yet, which, I don't find mysterious, but with 600 subscribers and you get 60 views in about a week, well, something's up there. Gosh. Says, I think in the future what I'm going to do is every time it seems like there's a low video count because the sub boxes have screwed up again because Google is always trying to tweak things and make them better, which ends up breaking everything anyway. I'll go ahead and throw out a quick little, oh, by the way, I uploaded something video, and probably have a little link to it that you can click right there on the screen. See, I think that's more or less it for where I've been and what's happened. Why I have been gone for 2.5 months, basically. I hope you guys understand. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. I don't know how much more personal I'm going to get about things that have happened than what I've just said. But feel free to ask. We'll see what happens. I am not big on sharing. I'm sure many of you have noticed by now. Let's see. Oh, good. That still keeps the water out. Wasn't sure, hadn't tested it. Anyway, given things that have happened, what does this mean for Season 2?